GSL Super Tournament, Season 1.
We're back at the GSL Super Tournament. We've just knocked off 2 best-of-5s. We've got 2 more to go before the day is done. Both Maru and Classic managing to pull through. Their opponents not easy. Sue and SOS. We now go to Dark versus aLive. Now, I feel like normally if this is a GSL Code S, I would say Dark should win this, but aLive has actually really performed quite well in previous Super Tournaments.
He has. I mean, he's a very strong Terran player. But Dark brought Maru to the limit not once but twice, and Maru seems undoubtedly to be the best Terran in the world at the moment in basically every category.
Yeah.
Very super duper. As super as the tournament is, it's more super hard for me to believe that aLive can take out Dark here. This seems Dark favored, but aLive, he delivers when you least expect it. He's an upset king.
Yeah, he's a fighter for sure. Dark is just coming back from several disappointments tournament-wise. He had some high hopes. And did not quite deliver in the last few weeks. So we're going to see how he does now. The weird thing about the Super Tournament is you could just get eliminated like that.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like, well, you don't have to be here the next 3 days.
It's not like Code S where you're within that round of 32, round of 16 area, you just have to win against a certain number of players in a series.
Yeah.
You can't lose a series in the Super Tournament.
That's right. Got to just straight up win. Here's aLive. This year hasn't been going super well for him. See if he can bring that back right now. He got second place in the first Super Tournament of last year to the hero.
It was really exciting to cast those games, too. He really delivered. I kept underestimating him every time and having to shake my head and go, okay, I'm wrong. You've really got it. He's got a bit of a smirk on right now. Players are chatting to each other. Yeah, we're moments away from getting this started. Game number 1 will be on Eastwatch. And we're going to see if aLive is going to bring that kind of aggressive, in-your-face style, and if Dark is going to be the one who's constantly defending and deflecting. And ultimately having, the best late game, or one of the best late games we've seen from a Zerg player in StarCraft 2.
That is certainly something that we have seen from him very much lately. By the way, again, these drawings pretty sick.
Yeah,
those hoodies look even cooler when they're drawn.
It is, we're always trying to mix it up here at the GSL. Different styles of tournaments, different styles of artwork. We're always changing the music.
My favorite thing is the trophy. Super Tournament's 1 word instead of 2. I think that's amazing to just make. They're like, you know what? These are 2 words, but let's put them together into 1 word.
Let's not even make a hyphen.
Yeah. Look at that small T after the R.
I already put a request in here at the GSL that we change the trophy text to Comic Sans. So we're going to see if that happens. Maybe in the next GSL.
I've always
fingers crossed.
I've always been partial to Halloween font.
They need more.
Or wing things.
They need more
what
emojis
if it was wing
on
things?
Yeah, wing things would be. I'd be fine with
that.
It'd
be like an alien trophy.
Okay. The countdown in this game has started. Again, in the Super Tournament, you have to tear through best of 5 after best of 5. There is no groups, there is no losing, and then recovering. There is no redemption. aLive, he's performed very well in the Super Tournament in the past, but Dark is no joke, especially in a TVZ. At many times in StarCraft 2 history, he has been the best CVT late game player that we've ever had.
GSL Super Tournament, Season 1, Round of 16. Match 3. Dark.
This guy wants to win a tournament so bad.
Titan EX1, aLive.
Yeah, we did see in those WCS Signature Series videos, Dark mentioning he doesn't just want to be remembered as a good StarCraft player. He wants to be remembered as the best StarCraft player.
Yeah, like he actually wants his name to be synonymous with StarCraft, like Slayer's Boxer. And so it's like not enough to be the best Zerg in the world, which he is from time to time. Like I think him, Sue, and Rogue are the only ones that have been able to claim that anytime recently. But he needs to do a lot more than what he's doing, unfortunately. He needs to have runs like what Maru's doing right now. The thing is, like, anyone that wants their name to be synonymous with this game, like, they have to do even more than what Rogue is doing right now, which is the most impressive thing that we've basically seen other than Sue and MVP at this point. I mean, innovation, I guess you can throw in there as well, but, like, you gotta win and win and win and win and don't stop. And he hasn't been able to do that, and he's had the sickest finishes lately. Like, he's at the top of the world, we know that. He just needs to be able to finish off these tournaments.
By the way, in regards to aLive, he's basically the player that's probably been with us since the very, 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 very beginning. Is still with us. Going on to, how many years has StarCraft 2 been out? Going on to 8, right?
8.
Going on to 8 years, and I'd say overall has produced the best results. I know that there are players that have come in like Season 3 and 4 of the GSL, but I believe aLive is actually the one who's been here since the very beginning.
Actually, Maru was in Season 1 of GSL.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he in every season, though, after that? Because aLive's been pretty consistently in most of the seasons.
I don't know who's been in the most. Gumiho, aLive, and Maru have basically been around forever, but I don't know the actual exact records. Look at this Reaper. He waits.
Yeah, he's staying just out of vision.
This complex micro that always happens at the third base is always pretty fun to watch.
You know, it's all in the hopes that maybe they won't pay attention.
Yeah.
And just end up losing that drone.
There's a little meta of trying to trick each other out with it. Like, if you can block the extractor, if you can bounce him once, and stuff like that. But the queen is always coming, and that's always what ends our fun. I think queens need to be slower off creep. I think that's how to fix that and make that
at least
more
twice as
exciting
slow.
extractor battle.
So link speed almost done, and that's really when the Reaper is under threat if it's in any open area on the map.
Some Hellions out on the map already here. Viking on the way. I wonder what style we'll see out of aLive, if it'll be mech or it'll be into bio after this. Guess we'll see momentarily. He does have the double gas.
So now comes the part where the Hellions and the Reaper try to push up, drive back some creep. Sometimes we'll see the Hellions actually dive in for a scout, and ideally taking out some workers as well.
Faking cloak right now, but maybe it's not a fake. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just get that cloak.
Yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity now in the meta for this, where do you want to cancel it or not, because so many people started to cancel it that then it actually becomes crazy to not cancel it. But it's a Raven on the way, and so he does go for that cancel.
Third command
like,
center.
wait a minute, the Raven can't cloak, right? Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh. Hell, I wish the Raven could cloak, to be honest. It's not like you ever kill them, and at least that would use mana on bad players so that they didn't get off as many of the missiles. Think about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, please, go ahead, cloak. It's not as if these corruptors were ever going to get those.
So Stim's now on the way. The Raven. I'm like, robotics facility. I don't know. I just keep saying StarCraft R words.
Oh my gosh.
The Raven can be used to try to chuck in turrets, trying to gun down drones whenever possible. And that's probably what we're going to see coming up here.
He's got a couple Cyclones. So definitely a big attack is going to occur here. See what he can get done. Baneling's speed very, very, very quickly before the Evo's even. Good set of units here.
Now this is quintessential aLive. He does like to have some kind of early fight.
Yeah.
Now
he's going for it.
These two queens are pretty far out. The creep tumors are taken down. Both those queens with no energy to transfuse, but there are additional queens in the back. Now, the Banelings may end up surprising aLive. He hasn't actually gotten vision to that yet.
Yeah.
Especially Banelings of this number.
It's quite a few indeed. Of course, you can kite that a little bit, but he actually just turns around straight up. I guess maybe his Raven saw what was going on, didn't want any part of that. Gets back in a more defensive posture, gets his upgrades flowing.
And actually a very conservative maneuver here from aLive. He really didn't push in that much at all, you know? A lot of aLive's games, he's actually occasionally overextended, and other times he's done a bunch of damage, and it sort of begins the direction of him winning that game. But no, very passive this time around. As Dark now goes into Aspire, continuing to get 1-1.
I gotta say, I'm enjoying this minor resurgence of Mutiling Bane. We've been seeing it just slightly, a little bit again. And I mean, this is quite a gigantic map, so very cool to see that. aLive also not a player that you think of as a mech player too often.
I feel like Mutiling Bane right now is like the cereal at the grocery store that was at the bottom of the aisle that was in the big bags. It wasn't in those nice boxes with really cool, fun cartoon characters on there.
Yeah.
Instead of like Cheerios, it's like Tastios. And
You're
it's
talking
like,
about my childhood now. Tread lightly.
And so it's like, well, those are never going to be as good as the normal cereals, but they still work.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you bust out some Tastios, nobody knows what's going on.
They were literally Tastios.
Come over to
as
my
well.
house
That's
for breakfast, and I go, here you go. And I give you a little bowl of that, and you're like, oh, thanks, man. And you have a couple bites, you're like, something's going on here. And I'm like, you've just been duped, my friend.
Yeah. Tastios.
Tastios. Didn't Cheerios have that B? Do they still have the B on there?
Yeah, of course. That's for Honey Nut Cheerios, though.
Oh, that's right. But normal Cheerios doesn't have a mascot. Hold on. Oh, what you gonna do?
Roll away. Good micro. Trying to lure him into the siege tanks.
Oh, but the Raven goes down.
Ooh, that's a bit sloppy.
Whoa! That could not have been more last second.
Well, the Lings are still definitely doing something here. A lot of SCVs taking a lot of damage here as they run away.
Oh, Dark's like,
tiny hole.
Poker. Oh, that actually is just perfect, isn't it? Wow. They're just wedged in there exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, aLive. Go back, counterattack. Keep doing it, man.
Good job. Mutas are out, though. Time for Dark to see if he can break through. That single siege tank left all alone when there were mutts in the sky.
He's going to try to push in here. This is actually, considering the amount of Zerglings that were picked off and the fact that there are this many Hellbats, I don't know, man. I think aLive might be able to just push through.
There's a lot of speed bangs rolling forward. Some connections, and of course he has the queens up here. More Lings coming in. Oh my god. No, not much defense at home. Siege Tank is actually pretty far away from all this, so some of the Banelings are getting connections. But
oh, this may be too much.
Yeah.
aLive.
But he's on top of the barracks.
MVP of the Super Tournament. I don't know, man. I think this is actually, even though medevacs are going to get gunned down and stuff here, I think it's just too much.
I feel like he tried to defend that base specifically too long. If his Mutas are committing heavily into the main base, see, now they're having to turn around. If his Mutalists were committing that heavily, I feel like maybe if he pulled back there, allowed his fourth to die, and then got sufficient damage with the Mutas, maybe that would have worked a bit better. But as is, it's looking like aLive can just win this game.
Yeah. Oh. This sort of shows the difference between Maru and aLive, even though I think aLive's a great player, is that Banelings never get premium damage on Marines. You have to be so good economically as Zerg that each Baneling can just hit one Marine and it's fine.
Well, he's starting +2 air attack and making 10 more Mutalisks. So I think Dark is kind of like broadcasting his strategy to us. Double expand here, go heavily on the offensive, at least harassment-based offensive, and try to keep your opponent at home. But aLive is doing everything right here. He's going to have 2-2 in a second. He's even going into Drilling Claws. He has a Thor out, second factory on the way. Things are looking really good for our Terran.
But Dark's not stopping.
No.
Trying to get a big enough air army that if Terran pushes out, there may be some regrets there. And now with looking for this opening, baits out a stim, not bad. Just run for it. It's not like there's a ton of medevacs, especially because aLive lost some of those in the fight.
2-2 on the way for Dark. His creep spread's still pretty decent considering the amount of pressure that was on him earlier with a Raven there. 3-3 coming up for aLive. Luckily, with the 2-2 started before that, he will never be down 4 upgrades.
These Mutas looking for an opening, but with a small drop over here, it's going to be up to Dark's Lings to try to take this out.
Muta's picking off just a little bit.
It's interesting to see that getting a 4th base for Terran is easier said than done, on this map at least. It's kind of a lot of places. They look sort of like they'd be safe if you glance at the mini-map when you really see the travel distance.
A little bit hard to set them up correctly, though.
Yeah.
Ling's just kind of breaking through some of these rocks now, opening up these additional paths. He's got his creep spread kind of on both sides, so definitely needs to be able to circulate a bit. You know, a lot of the times that we see Terran win on this map, it's because there's not a good flank opportunity for a Zerg. They have to go in through one of these kind of smaller choke point openings. And Dark definitely doesn't want that to happen. The mutas are buying him time, and he's using that time very wisely.
Oh, he might get a catch here. I don't think Dark's watching. Oh my God. Sometimes that's all you need. So oddly enough, the drop that didn't do that much as far as damage over there did draw Dark's screen away.
Yeah.
And then a lot of mutas were gunned down.
Yeah, he saw 16 this game so far. That's a pretty large number.
That's way more than I would have guessed.
Fourth base is up with the sensor tower. But Dark, he's getting a pretty decent economy going. His 2-2's finishing as well. His Hive is about to finish. Does he go directly into Ultra's Cavern? Okay, a couple Vipers. Yeah, Ultra Cavern as well. But this push is going to hit before any Ultras are out. So this is the one that's really scary. If Dark can eliminate this push, he can definitely get himself into a good spot.
Well, if Dark eliminates his push, there's an opening where he can actually try to attack the fourth base. Fourth base, very accessible. I think we're getting to that point where there's, okay, he beat me to it, a lot of banelings being made. I was going to say, once Zerg maxes out and has a real economic engine going for him, that's when you can make so many banelings that it does not matter what the Terran has.
Yeah.
It's
unless it's Maru.
The touch of death.
Okay, here we go. A little bit of harassment still going on. Good deflection there. That is so many banelings. Oh my God. But he has some Widow Mines in here, trying to trigger them, actually.
Looks like he's trying to keep the majority of these banelings back.
Yeah, those banelings don't do much at all. Thor's still alive.
So the Marauders and the Thor just here in the front. What he wants to do, aLive, is try to have the Thor and the Marauders soak up as much baneling damage so the Marines can do damage later on. It's very intentional that there's just one Marauder here saying, come at me, bro.
Certainly it is. Okay, he goes back through the choke right now, drops him right there. Look at that.
Dude,
how do you
aLive
engage
is
that
so
with Bling
good.
Bane? How do you engage that?
It's actually crazy how good he is with this. It's making the banelings useless.
All right, coming in right now, moving those banelings right through. A couple Liberators set up. They don't do much against this many Lings and Banes. Oh my God, taking down even the Widow Mines. All the Marines in the back go down as well.
Did you see that harpooning?
I did not actually. I was
the Vipers like pulled it sort of to the side. Well, supply's somewhat even. Dark is trying to push back as far as he can, but he is eventually forced to turn around.
Well, he removed all the Widow Mines that were there. There's only one Thor right now. He's about to have a bunch of Ultras pop out. I think he's good.
Yeah, I think with the Ultras up here, it might be something that aLive can't quite deal with for a little bit. He's going to have to stay back and try to macro up.
Like, he's got his 3-3, but that's going to be finishing for Dark. The chitinous plating as well. He's making a lot of Marauders, sure. Good stuff, but he needs to get something else. He either needs to get a lot of Liberators out. Okay, he's starting Ravens. I feel like there's a transitional period here where you actually need to focus more heavily on Liberators and maybe get Ghosts out. If you go directly into Ravens, it's... I mean, obviously Ravens are really good, but does this help enough against...
I feel like I've seen too many games where Terrans, especially against Dark, will try to keep pushing as the Ultra Tech's up there. And Dark is really a master of hanging on and not dying when Ultras are incorporated to the game.
Very true.
And it's funny because Ultras are the units that are probably the easiest to kite.
Yeah.
But Dark is just so good with them.
I guess the anti-armor missile actually against Ultras does help out because it's really their armor that makes it so difficult to kill them.
Yeah, that's the real strength, is that they have a lot of sustain in an actual fight.
But still, a lot of Ultras being made. Liberator range is going to be finishing up as well as Corvid Reactor.
While we're talking about all these unit compositions and the characteristics of the player, I almost feel like we're skipping over the fact that Dark has so much of the map. And both the bottom right and the overall top here, it's not easy for Terran to push into that. I'm worried that as good as aLive looks, the longer the game goes on, the better position Dark's in.
I would say so, considering Dark can push Maru to the limits, and it seems as if Maru at this point is probably even past TY in late game TVZ.
I agree. And looking a lot fancier than Innovation.
Yeah. Okay, some Ghosts on the way, a lot of Liberators as well, but a decent number of Corruptors out here to help out. Look at this funny little attack.
Well, the fact that he's actually gotten in here with these Corruptors gunning down the Liberators, I think he needs to just keep going.
Well, definitely all of these units are going to end up dying here, but I mean, Dark doing a pretty good job sending in some more ultras. Looks like a couple command centers here could end up getting canceled. Or killed.
Or canceled.
Look at these Corruptors, though. I love that. This is a very Dark-esque composition. The fact that he has a bunch of Corruptors in with this set of units to kind of pick off things like these Liberators and these stray medevacs. Oh.
I was about to say, I hope we see this from the Corruptors.
Yeah.
Very Scarlet-esque here. And while this is all happening, Dark is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's banking more and more and more. And, you know, even if you don't get the command center there, you force him to spend minerals repairing that, and SCVs are not mining.
It's definitely a worthwhile move, I would say. Oh, looks like he will be able to get this medevac. I think. Never mind.
Well, aLive is hanging on, but I think, you know, the next 1 or 2 blows coming out of here from Dark should finish this game up. And this is where I think aLive has faltered compared to a lot of other Terran players, is he just does not produce the greatest late game.
Exactly. That you really, like, he'll have a better early and mid game than a lot of Terran players. Very oftentimes his aggression works out for him, his constant pressure plays and multitasking, but when we do get up to this point, this is not the same thing as watching Maru, right? It just it doesn't quite look the same the way he's controlling everything.
Whoa!
Like Maru probably would have killed
aLive not kiting this quite well, and now he's going to just completely tear down this. Yeah, this should be it. You know, even if aLive hangs on, I don't see a point in time where aLive's going to recover and take this game back and make it his. You know, aLive spent all of his money, which, of course, we consider to be a good thing in StarCraft. So I'm not saying that as a criticism, but if you look at Dark, who's also spent as much money as the game would let him. Yeah. You know?
So he just wants to make a bunch of buildings right now.
Yeah.
With your ultra space play, I don't think that's really needed.
Yeah. And oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Not quite. A for effort.
So again, he's going to try to come down.
Oh, man. Link's just trapping absolutely everything.
Oh, my God. Tries to unburrow them there. So it's just Ghosts and Marauders now in this army, and that's it. Hey, GG. Game 1 goes to Dark.
Definitely a solid early mid-game from aLive there. You know, that push
But
on the
that's what we think of when we think of aLive.
Absolutely.
You know, he's kind of an aggro player. He doesn't seem to have any major faults. I will say the one thing that sticks out to me about aLive that makes him not as good as someone like Maru is that when these banelings come in, he is not able to split as fast.
That is true. It's one of the that's kind of prerequisite skills to play bio in TVZ.
Well, I mean, if you're as good at splitting as Maru, you don't lose anywhere near as much of your army, and you probably win the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to criticize aLive, because I could criticize every other human on the face of the planet for not being as good as Maru at that, and I'd be kind of a dick if I did that, because you don't need to be criticized. It's just you got to point out the fact that Maru is so good at that. So, aLive's a great player, but Maru on another level with that specific skill, and that is one of the key things. If you got to be good at something, splitting your army against banelings is one of the most important things in TVZ.
And I think it's it's important to bring up just because we've seen so much of Maru versus Dark lately, and we've seen how to beat Dark. And I mean, it's difficult otherwise. You saw him deal some real damage to Dark early on, kill a bunch of mutas and stuff, but finishing Dark off is a whole nother matter.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 16, Match 3.
Pool and gas.
Dark.
Ooh. Some cheesing coming out.
Dark Vader.
Dark Vader.
Yeah.
Titan EX1, aLive.
Young Padawan aLive. Ooh, got some screams in the audience.
They're scared of what's going to happen to aLive here if he doesn't figure out what's going on.
The carnage.
I wonder what build Dark is going for here. Is he just going to go Speedlings? Speedlings plus some Banes?
Maybe he's trying to preempt a really quick command center, even though we're not really seeing a really quick command center, quick anything. But I don't know, Artosis.
If you catch that first Reaper, you know, definitely a big deal, especially considering most oftentimes they are making a reactor afterwards. Greetings from Argentina. Greetings from Germany. Wow.
All right, we're getting all the continents covered here.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting those PlayStation unlockable achievements. We need someone. Is there anybody here from Antarctica? Any penguins?
No humans are from Antarctica, unfortunately. I would love to be an Antarctican.
No Antarctica passports?
None.
Come on, someone's been born in Antarctica.
I wonder if someone's been born in Antarctica, actually.
Yeah, it has to have happened.
I don't know.
Does that
it
mean
has.
they become the king of Antarctica?
Right.
Ooh.
The first native Antarctica.
That's right.
I don't know if anyone has been born there, though.
I'm just an Antarcticotian.
I think it would be Antarctican.
Antarctican?
Or we could get really
Or we
weird,
could
where
do
you
like
call
with
like
Kiwis or something
people
like that.
from Netherlands, we call them
Penguin
like
people?
Dutch people. Like, what is that even?
Well, how many names do they need to have for where they're from and what their country's called?
By the way, this Reaper is really ruining Dark right now. Look at all these slings he made. They aren't doing anything.
Microing. Hard. As I can. And not die. The Reaper's over there just crying, watching this base get blown up. I tried, guys.
Yeah.
I tried.
He did a great job. All those slings are bruised.
Yeah.
Is he going 2-on-1 after this, possibly? Not a bad follow-up, I would say. You're going to be kind of low on everything at that point. Later hatchery, less queens, slower +1 carapace, less drones overall, and then you're going to still have to make a lot of lings.
But, you know, aLive is not doing the build he wanted to do. Doesn't mean he's in awful shape, but sometimes this is a great way to take out a player that, especially if you know you're better than them, is just mess up their initial opening.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet no one's ever been born in Antarctica, Dasis.
I bet someone. Come on, there was a bunch of people they were exploring. Penguins are in the South Pole, right? Penguins are South Pole, polar bears are North Pole.
That's right.
Penguins and polar bears never interact, by the way.
That's
All
right.
your cartoons lied to you, people that are watching this.
That's so true.
There were a couple people exploring stuff down there.
But
Now, how many people
if you were
were
pregnant, would you
now,
go
Artosis,
explore Antarctica?
Can I get a little bit risky here? How many people were conceived in Antarctica? Yeah.
Definitely some number, I would imagine, right?
You got to stay warm somehow, Artosis. Oh, sick. He actually caught it.
Yeah, nice catch.
Get out and give me a third base.
It doesn't even know. 2 base, 3 base, who knows? Can't tell. Still, I think it's a good follow-up build from aLive. Well planned out. Dark's creep spread, not going to be magnificent by the time that this hits. But, he's going down the right path as well, right? He's getting the carapace, he's getting the queens. Even making a bunker here just to really make sure he doesn't get screwed up. You know, his Deepa wall is going to be so late that this bunker really does make a lot of sense. It's not, you don't see things like this very often in StarCraft 2, a bunker just sitting there like that. That's a StarCraft 1 base defense right there.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like.
You watch, Dragoons are going to come up and shoot that down right now.
Yeah.
So, wait a minute. Does the North Pole have the same rules as Antarctica? Like, Antarctica is not really anybody's, right?
That's true. It's not anybody's. But the North Pole isn't land. All the land up there is accounted for.
There's no land.
There is
no land on the North Pole. There's not some island.
It's just ice. There's no island. Every piece of land up there is owned by somebody.
Is it not
it's
because
Greenland
Antarctica is the ice wall, and the flat Earth theory that keeps us humans out from interacting with the lizard people that control all the money in the world? Are you sure it's not
Is that part of that?
Yeah.
Is that part
That's
of that
why
theory?
airplanes can't fly over it. Not because it's not convenient to fly airplanes over Antarctica during normal commercial travel because it's too far away from anything.
That's not part of it, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's awesome. I got to read more about this.
Yeah.
And look at this. This stim attack doing such a great job right now.
This is a lot of damage. Now, Dark has to hang on in this moment. So
Oh my God. He was attacking his own creep.
Dark's not going to be able to win with his ultras in the late game if this keeps happening.
Yeah. Very true on that.
That's how you play-by-play that.
Oh. He just
If you
needs
lose
to
now,
get to an ultra.
Yeah. So, Medevac headed up in the upper left.
Quite a few lings out here.
aLive is, he might be getting a little bit too greedy here. This is not a lot of Marines. They're not even all fully healed up.
There's another drop coming up here.
What did he get,
Where
like
did it
4
go?
queens back there? 5 queens?
Yeah, something like that. And you got a few drones, obviously some lings. Kind of healing up right now, leaving one medevac up there for harassment, no doubt. The other one going home. Spore on the way. Too late.
Here we go. Widowmine for good measure. Hidden just in plain sight by the Spore Crawler.
So much heavy micro with these Widow Mines nowadays. Everyone's trying to get them to go off, and then you unfurl them if they're bad. Yep, look at that, though. Dark does set it off on just one lane. All right, picks off that medevac super quickly and will clear out the rest of these Marines as well. Targets down as many drones as he can and runs out of there. Kind of a crazy game so far.
I have breaking news.
What is it?
At least 10 children have been born in West Antarctica.
In West Antarctica, no doubt.
People tweeted me all the time, but for some reason Twitter decided to let me know.
Well,
it just
that was
showed up
actually
right there.
that was important, I would say. That's really interesting. I had no idea.
Losing that medevac also important. 10 people.
Jeez.
Let's have a baby in Antarctica. Let's get to 11. You and me, Artosis.
Okay. That sounds really good. It's a good idea. I don't have enough of those yet. I need a few more.
You need a few more babies. A couple of Antarctica babies. Well, I'm worried for aLive in this game because even though that aggression looked great, like he was killing it, and he kills it honestly with a lot of his aggression way harder than a lot of other Terrans, but he gets too greedy. He pressed a little bit further, and that's the big equalizer with aggression like that.
Yeah. You know, obviously he was slowed down by having to force his CC to cancel and stuff like that, but one thing I'm a little bit nervous about for him is his 1-1. Not yet done, so I mean, Dark is sitting here playing with a carapace. He's taking his 4th base. I don't think that's going to get denied. Dark just kind of playing carefully here, getting his infestation pit, so that is nice and fast as well.
Confirmation of the 3rd base being here. Now, is Dark going to try to set up any kind of attack? I mean, he's generally... Actually, I don't want to say that. I was going to say he's generally passive. Not exactly. He's generally always able to hold off an attack, but there's a lot of moments where Dark will pull the trigger and really attack in.
He's going to go up here and try to defend his creep a little bit.
Oh, that was so sick, the targeting.
Very nice. Baneling's speed's going to be finished up pretty soon here. A ton of Lings on the way. Kind of interesting how he's playing this. I love the flexibility of Dark and how he can really do anything. You know, we've talked about this, pro gamers have talked about this, how his understanding with Zerg is, it kind of reminds you of like an SOS type figure, where it's like, oh, you just kind of get everything, right? Have you noticed something weird, Tasus? There's no Roachhorn, there's no Hydralisk Den, there's no Spire. This guy's just sitting on Queen Ling Bane with this kind of weird game that we're looking at.
Oh my god, good splitting. Oh, wait, he just stopped?
What are you talking about, good splitting?
I lied.
Yeah.
So I thought he was going to get away with those SCVs, but he didn't keep clicking them over there. So 11 SCVs go down. I know it's been 8 years, guys, but I feel like just now I've really realized that aLive does seem to struggle against Banelings. The Banelings always do damage. Either that or I'm way going too far and just like deciding to sum him up entirely as a human based on this best of 5. Maybe he's just kind of tired and out of it today, but
so you're saying that someone who isn't Maru or Bjorn or Innovation, or maybe TY, takes damage from Banelings?
A lot of damage, Artosis. It's important that you put that modifier in front of the word. And
I think you're summing up most Terrans right now in the entire world.
And aLive is still probably one of the very best at not taking too much damage by comparison.
Yeah. It's a tough game. No question there.
Ooh, drop a Marine. Try to bait out a hit.
Ooh, if he had retargeted, that would have been so sick.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, pretty good.
I feel like the walls may be closing in here on aLive. He's turtled up quite nicely. I don't think he's necessarily going to lose on 3 bases. I don't know if he's going to get a 4th very easily. There's some serious map dominance here by Dark, who, as you were remarking on earlier, is basically kept it really basic, like surprisingly impressively basic with Ling, Bane, Queen.
Yeah, now he's going to have Ultras out there, right? He hasn't spent any money on those other pesky units that Zerg can make. This is a big ball of bio, though. This ball of bio is not joking around. Okay, some harassment. He's trying to draw him back a little bit more, I think.
Dark has enough that he can, have his cake and eat it, to be honest with you. He's just able to counterattack in here, and it seems like he should hold out these attacks. God, that is a lot of range, though.
It is so much bio coming at him, and just Ling Bane against this much? Oh my God! Look at that spread. Is that spreading good enough for you, Tasteless?
We're gonna find out. He actually didn't seem to have enough Banelings either way.
Then the Ultra comes in.
Like,
okay.
oh.
Now he has an Ultra. He doesn't die, right?
He doesn't die. It's dark. Just keep transfusing. Micro him back. It's like a Warcraft 3 hero.
The Queens are the true heroes here. Keeping these Ultras alive forever.
Oh, Baneling coming up.
Are we joking?
That's what you need, is just 4 Banelings, and aLive will pick everything up. Now I've cursed him. He's like, I heard what Tayson said about me. I'm not going down like this.
Those 2 Ultras, the amount of damage that they've actually soaked. Look at him get away! Go kill that. Go kill that Ultra. That Ultra should not be alive right now. Kill it!
Wow.
There we go.
Are we at the tipping point here?
Might be. Live has a lot of armies still left over. There's 4 Ultras in the way, though, and he had a hard time against 2 with that many units, so maybe these Ultras will push us back. All Dark needs to do is push us back once, so he's on 5 bases, right?
Well, that's the big issue, is that aLive is not growing.
Yeah, aLive doesn't. Yeah, you're right. Even though this is like, you look at supplies and stuff, you're like, yeah, aLive can do this.
There's
No, I
Ultra
don't think
coming
so.
down here. You killed my big brothers. So once Terran picks up, the damage just stops. It seems like he's going to try to go towards juggling instead here. Oh, but there's 2 counter Ultras.
Attacking this 4th base with this set of bio, but like, the counterattack of Dark will not be stopped. He literally doesn't have the units to stop this unless everything sits under these 2 Liberators that are about to pop out. Oh wait, I thought he was sending more than that. Never mind. He can definitely stop that.
Okay, 3rd base lasts another day here.
Ultras come in, the Ultras go out.
But I feel like
Tide.
I feel like Dark is, yeah, and you can't explain that no matter what.
Can't stop it either.
Can't stop it, can't explain it.
Probably has something to do with the
Do you realize what a completely stupid argument that is for Bill O'Reilly to make to that guy on TV? You know, that's where that's from.
Oh, I have no idea.
He invites some atheist on TV.
Can't explain that.
Yeah, he's like I'm a religious person.
Magnets, you know?
No. It's there's another one. It's a
ICP
clip on YouTube. Yeah, the ICP with the magnets.
They're right. You can't explain magnets.
Yeah,
that
magnets are magic, and it's like, if you say so. No, there's another one where he's like, you have to watch the clip. Just
I think I
type in Tides and Bill O'Reilly. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's okay.
Gobble up too much time with this, but drop over here in the main. Now this is actually what might have the real impact. He's going to get the Ultra Cavern, which, as we know,
can't kill
Dark
me if
Spirit
you can't
Animal.
make Ultras.
Yeah, exactly. Ultra is constantly in a state of trauma. Their siblings going down. The cavern now gone. They don't even have a cavern to go into.
No. Where will they
What
sleep
do they do
when
in
they
that
get
cavern?
tired?
That's right.
What if that's their man cavern?
It's
all of their video games are gone.
That's right.
Their
That's where his
Ultra's
flat
pool
screen is.
table.
Yeah. He's got those Ultras have a foosball table down there that they just love to play on when they're not being harassed by aLive.
Well, they're pissed now.
Yeah.
Now they're forced to do things like go to the gym and get 3-3.
That's right.
You're really going to be afraid when these things are 3-3 with their chitinous plating.
So
they didn't always have chitinous plating, but they had a tough childhood.
It turned them into the men they are today. But also, why do those Ultras never cry?
I know, right?
So we're seeing the beginnings of a 4th base for aLive. I don't know. Oh, that's pretty sneaky.
Wow, look at that little ledge. I was sitting around on the map editor looking at this map. He's like, where can I put a Widow Mine?
He found the spot. But basically, Dark's outgrown aLive. As you were saying, and we see on screen, the 3-3's coming.
Yeah, Lives is about to finish right now, which is pretty nice as well. Only anti-air, though, is Queen and Viper. So some of these Liberators could definitely have an impact, as he's making quite a few of them now, getting that range also. Just now starting the Spire. Occasionally in the past, and not too recently, but something that happens to this style that Dark plays is his Spire will come up a little bit late, and then suddenly something Liberator and Medevac based will get into a nice position against him before he's quite ready for it. I don't think that's going to happen this time, though. It doesn't look like it.
So it looks like the idea of the harass is going to continue on here from aLive. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that potent, but he's at least set up to start doing that if he needs to. But he needs to keep Dark distracted from this base, because I think Dark is probably just going to gear up. And with this many queens, I don't even know how many transfuses that is on an Ultra, but it's a lot.
By the way, this setup that aLive is making, this is almost like a 2016 or 2017 setup. The Widow Mines, the turrets, the Liberators, the bio underneath. It's super strong. This is very hard to break, but it's not really that modern as far as defense goes, which I just find that a little bit interesting. Everyone else is playing a little bit different in the late game, but it's a good setup still.
Dark is gearing up. He's banked a lot of gas, a lot of minerals. He's going to be able to hit this with a lot of Banes, as we see being made right now.
Trying to deal some damage here. Pulls back into his very defensive structure.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, great abducts going down.
So the Liberators are no longer as much of a factor. The Queen's still coming in. Oh my God, he actually got so many Ultras there. I'm very surprised.
Well, he's attacking here into a planetary, plus those mines, plus we still have some Liberators set up at
so
least.
The Baneling's going to come in here and connect with the SCVs, which should allow there to be enough damage that this base is no more. And aLive is on a 3-base economy. 2, Zerg on, I believe it's 6 bases.
Yeah, it's
and from here, Dark just rinses and repeats.
It's looking increasingly dire here for aLive. But again, we see a game where like aLive has put up really good fights, and then we're kind of getting in. You were joking about it before. If this keeps going like this, you aren't going to be able to get the Ultras to survive. And then literally he almost died, and then held on with 2 Ultras that popped out. Do you remember this battle?
I do remember this.
Wow, Tasteless.
Crazy.
Your prescience is a real thing. I've always known that you could see the future.
Ooh-op taste. Well, all aLive can do is...
Did you say Moop taste?
like from Dune, yeah.
Like Muad'Dib or whatever.
What, yeah.
Moop.
Moop based, maybe?
Boop bop taste. Like, okay, boop bop taste. That's pretty sick, boop bop
I just made a stupid noise in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it had no meaning or reference to anything.
Boop bop.
I'm like larba tasteless, right?
It's not even beep boop,
like,
which
okay,
would be like a robot.
Okay, baby tasteless, whatever you want. We'll just keep playing this game until it's 7 o'clock and you go to bed because you have school tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay, Here we go. Is this a killing blow? I don't know if aLive is going to be able to survive this. He's going up this ramp. But how much damage is Zerg going to eat?
Well, that's a very small ramp to try to force your way up. Wow, Dark really wants him to get out.
That is basically that machine where they grinded up those bodies in Fargo.
If this was the...
GG. Dark wins game 2.
With those Ultras trying to squeeze up that ramp, man. If this was the Korean ladder, he'd be typing Naga right now. Oh my God.
So aLive not happy with that loss. He puts up a good fight, but Dark has better late game.
Yeah. Boat Bop Taste.
Yeah, man.
Boat Bop Taste, like, really called that one, man.
Yeah. Naga Baba Laba Tasteless is just... He's got it. He's got the prescient ability.
Oh my God.
Ooh. We have like the soundtrack from Dr. Disrespect's channel playing here. I get it. I'm in the zone now.
Ooh.
Dark versus aLive.
What happens? You're backwater. You got those easy 3 bases.
Yeah.
What do you think, Boat Bop Taste?
I think Dark wins this with his Ultras. Hold on, I'm having a vision. He wins this with a lot of Ultras. But he controls them really well. And Transfuse is going to be casting on. Wait, I'm having a feeling. The Ultras.
Wow. All right, I'm ready for it.
Here we go. Let's see if I'm right. This is game 3. Dark versus aLive.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 16, Match 3.
Stop. Oh, my mic's still by my mouth. You at least turned your mic away.
Oh my God, I'm just laughing so I'm Mope Mop
Scott Babalop Tasteless.
Mope Mop Taste. Occasionally you give yourself like an epic name, but Mope Mop Taste is not one of them.
But it sounds like somebody trying to do Scatman music, but kind of choking a little bit as he does it.
It's like someone who clearly can't do the music.
Yeah.
Still trying to do it, though.
Someone who's clearly never going to be able to scat.
Oh, my God. Mope Mop himself over here. Okay, so... Oh, man. Oh, all right. Looks like pretty standard openers, so...
There was a certain percentage of people that just heard that little thing we were tickled by and just shut off the screen. They were just surfing through Twitch. They're like, well, these guys are idiots, and just went to the next page.
That's fine.
But the rest that stayed,
we don't need
they
that.
know what this is really about.
It's about the adventures of Moat Mop Tasteless. Solid.
Scabalot Bebop Tasteless. And his esports casting prescience.
Oh my gosh. Oh. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how this...
so they're making a hatchery in a pool. He's mining gas.
Same
Back
old,
to the game.
How you doing, Tasteless?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. I'm catching a second win from the jet lag.
Yeah. Well, you got one more series after this one, and that's actually a really good one as well. Excited about that.
Yeah, all these series are actually great. I love doing Super Tournament, man.
Yeah. It's really quite an awesome tournament.
The drone's kind of hiding.
You see how he's already waiting at the geyser? This is just like, it's so funny how mapped out everything gets. Remember once upon a time, the Reaper would come across and it would get one Zergling exactly every time, basically?
Yeah.
And like, now we're at the point where like the Reaper comes across and the drone waits at the geyser, and then like eventually a Queen will walk down there and then the hatchery will be made. That's how shaved down the metagame can really get. He doesn't even go for it this time. He knows. He knows the Queen will just walk down and it will occur. He tried to get that Ling instead, but didn't get anything. Who's the real winner here?
The fans. Reaper's going to come around. I've seen it all before. Gets confirmation of the third hatchery, which is quite important.
Yeah. Looks like a 2-on-1 popping out, too.
Mm-hmm. aLive having a tough time in this series.
It's a great shot. Thank you, aLive.
That was some good branding right there.
Yeah. They probably told aLive, they're like, listen, after you check the third hatch, you go to the Super Tournament thing, or we are disqualifying you.
It's like, but my strategy. No.
No.
Listen carefully.
No. You bring the Reaper.
You don't know what kind of people we are, what we're capable of here. Okay? I'm just going to leave it at that. We walk away.
They're like, did you see the maps we made in ASL? Do you want us to do that? You want to
have Sparkle on StarCraft too?
Yeah.
You're a Terran player. You'd be losing your mind on that map, my friend. Tried to die on top of the Marines.
Get some dirty at least.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who are watching this who are not following our StarCraft 1 tournament, the ASL, it's been a lot of fun. Definitely come check it out. If you like this, you might as well just join ASL. It's just Tasteless and Artosis riffing on StarCraft 1. We got a lot of weird maps, too.
Yeah. It's really heating up right now. Halfway done the round of 16. Pretty sick. So, same builds hitting each other right now. See what type of damage can get done by aLive. Kind of neat, he can easily take a third base behind this. Not sure what he'll be able to really get done damage-wise, though. Getting quite a scout off, but this will die.
You have the prescient ability, too.
Yes.
Art of Barbar.
There was no... Oh, no, I didn't give myself some epic name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's sounds like a personal problem to me.
Yeah.
Is he going to do it? No. So Stim's now done. Terran should be picking up and heading out in a second here. Oh, I'm sorry. He's already out on the map.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. He's not waiting for those.
I knew that. I was just trying to throw people off so they don't think I'm prescient.
Yes.
He'll probably try to drop over here at the expansion, and then we'll see this. Now, I don't know if it's going to look anywhere near as good as what Maru did, but the idea is still there. You want to try to come and do as much damage, look for openings, push back the creep, kill drones, queens, Overlord in this case.
Yeah, that's at least a decent pick off there. I like the Spore as well. Get out of here. You know the easiest way to tell if a Zerg's going to lose his main base?
What?
Is if he has a single Spore on the side of it. The amount of Zergs I see that put a single, like late mid-game I would call it, a single Spore on the side of their main base. They're like, all the medevacs are bruised.
Yeah.
And then like 2 medevacs go in, they lose like 8 drones in their spawning pool. I'm like, yep. It's almost better if you don't make the Spore. Because as soon as the Terran sees that Spore, they're like, oh, they think that'll stop me.
You're unintentionally signaling to the Terran that you don't have an army there, and that's why the Spore is so far out, as you're trying to drive them out.
Yeah, you're like,
but that
this
Spore
is
never
my
enough.
zoning Spore.
Yeah.
Stay out of the main. There could be more behind this.
I imagine that's what the Zerg says out loud at his computer as he moves it there.
And then the Terran's like,
I'm a Terran player. I'm gonna go anyways. I saw Maru drop everywhere. We can't win if we don't get damage early. Don't tell me to play like better players. I have to get my damage early.
So the next wave of medevacs.
I bet you didn't know I did Terran voices and Zerg voices.
It's uncanny. That's the same voice I read every tweet I've ever gotten on Twitter as I read it. It's kind of like,
Hey, just what I got him.
but uh-oh, the Marines are surrounded! You got slimed.
You got gacked.
You got gacked, right? Was it slimed or gacked on Nickelodeon?
It's both.
Oh, really?
Nickelodeon gack. I mean, slime is always a thing. You can't even have a good TV show without slime, as far as I know.
Another drop over here. Nice targeting on those banelings. Actually, a decent connect, I think, with one of those at the bottom.
Yeah, it definitely has some spots.
You know, I'm not trying to knock on aLive here, but there is just such a... This really is almost a testament to how good Maru is with his control. If you look at how Maru looked in the first series.
You talking about the banelings again?
Yeah, just the targeting and picking up. And
I feel like if this goes to Game 5 and he keeps on not killing every baneling, you're eventually going to write an old-fashioned pen and paper letter to aLive's mother and be like, Dear Madame, your son is a great StarCraft 2 player, but his true weakness as a human is against banelings.
I think you're right. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to get I've talked about it enough at this point in time. I'm going to get a tattoo on my right leg that says something about this, and I'm always going to sit with one leg crossed so it's kind of in front of me like it's a note, and I just sort of, when I don't know what to say, I sort of look at my calf, and I'm like, you know, aLive is not as good as dodging these baneling hits as Maru is.
And I'm like, this is a PvP team. So what are you doing?
And then when I have nothing else to say, I look at the back of my hand, and it says, if you look at the supplies, and I just cite that. You guys realize I have an entire cheat sheet just tattooed all over me.
Sounds
when
like
I
what
could have
Todd
when I
does.
could have just gotten paper.
No wonder he has so many tattoos and talks about supply so much. 10 mutos on the way, by the way. So, let's see how that does for him. Fourth base coming up for aLive, who is pushing out right now. He's getting drilling claws, but still making siege tanks, sending some mixed messages.
I think this actually might just be too much.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. That's a lot of banelings.
And the mutants now are hitting the medevacs. The medevacs are not quite in a position to pick up, so everything's going to die.
Yeah, he's just trying to save his medevacs, but definitely going to lose some of them.
Something Maru better at this. So these medevacs go down. And that's a huge blow, especially with the medevacs being reset like that. There's just nowhere near as much to heal those Marines.
He has like no units.
Yeah.
He has 18 Marines and 2 medevacs. We could like go back to his very first attack. That's how much he had, but now he has twice as many command centers.
Yeah, and he's trying to take a fourth base. And this is, this is not a hard fourth base to hold compared to some of the other maps, but with Dark almost doubling supply and at the point in time in the game where he could actually just make banelings,
yeah,
I think Dark's going to take this.
Oh, yeah. He's maxed out. His creep spread's halfway through the map. He's on 5 bases. He's got over twice as much army supply. Yeah, he's in good shape. I think he's got it.
At this point in time, we're getting to the point where there's going to be almost as many Mutalisks as there are Marines.
More banelings.
He's not even going to need Ultras.
If you have a baneling per Marine, well, if they only connect to 1 Marine each, the Terran's definitely going to win that.
And I think in this case, even if they connect to each Marine, he should have so many banelings, then the rest of those banelings go in there, destroy all of aLive's buildings, and then the rest of them destroy the destructible rocks on the map.
Well, the buildings also have some flying ones, right? So.
That's true. Here we go.
Wow, that's many banelings. Oh my god.
All right, to the eBay. Let's go.
Man. Is there anything left for the banelings to kill?
GG. Dark 3-0ing aLive. And unfortunately, this is not going to be aLive Super Tournament where we can really exhibit how deep he can go. Dark moves on to that round of 8.
Yeah. I guess an expected result overall with how Dark's been playing lately. Fortunately for aLive, having a hard time this year so far. Not really picking up too many WCS points. He qualified, so that definitely says something, since this is only a 16-player tournament with 14 qualification spots. But Hopefully he'll do better in the future next GSL.
I have high hopes for him. I mean, aLive's been around since the beginning, but Dark is just on another level right now.
Yeah, he's looking fantastic. So our last match of the day coming up, going to be True against Trust.
And I think this should be a closer one.
I think this is a really good match.
The last match we just had, that was the only one when we first came in here where I thought, that might be one-sided. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But it has the potential.
Yeah.
And you can see aLive is a solid early game player. He just can't keep that momentum. The more bases he has, the bigger army he has. Whereas Dark, that's his strongest point.
Yeah. He's so good as the game goes on. It gets pretty crazy.
Yeah. Not even getting his Ultralist that
Banelings, Maru, something
Maru. Yeah, that's right.
Mob
I
pace.
said with my eyes rolled into the back of my head as I was using my prescient abilities. So our final best of 5 is going to be coming up in just a little bit. We're going to be on a short break, and the Korean caster's taking a really long time wrapping this up. So I thought I had it timed out.
Yeah.
I did it.
They're still talking, man. They got something to say.
10-minute break. 10-minute break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our final match.